Good morning. I'm literally just getting up. I have to start my day, but um, it's been so much going on with me mentally, and where the mind goes, the body follow. And I just recently had an epiphany, and I felt the need to um discuss it out loud again. Um, and this is still healing in maybe perhaps on a different level. Um, because I've healed from the heartbreak, or I've healed from the breakup. Let me say that. I've healed from the breakup, but when these epiphanies come, sometimes it's kind of shocking. Sometimes it's well, let me tell you what I mean by that. So Judas reached out to um Ty, which is the oldest. This was okay. So if today's June 2nd. This had to be maybe May 29th. So this is very recent. He reached out to the oldest. They spoke for a little while. He has a new number. He told the oldest to pass his number on. He want to speak to the youngest. Um, the youngest called him and spoke to him. I told the youngest, because the youngest called and spoke in front of me, right? And I'm not really sure what that was about, unless he needed some type of, excuse me, like emotional support. I'm not really sure, but it it's cool. Um, so I sent him, and this was okay. Today's is June 1st, so this is May 30th, right? Like this was again very recent. So yesterday morning, June 1st, I sent a text, and I said in the text to him, which it was difficult for me to send the text. Reason being is because even though I have forgiven him, I really don't want to have, like, I see no real reason why we need to communicate. But then the adult in me rose and decided, okay, I still need to have him understand something as a parent. As a parent. So I sent the text, and I said in the text, you know, good morning. Um, Damn, what did I say? Because it was short. I said something that I can't remember verbatim. Gotta be the ganja that I used to smoke back in the day. I used to smoke so much, so pardon me. But I said something to the matter of, good morning. I see that you are um back and in back in back in their lives, and I just hope the best for you, and I hope that you can be consistent this time, because the main thing is that I'm concerned about the impression that you leave on our youngest. So, and I think you know that. So with that, have a good day. It was very short, right? He of course replied, And said, well, not of course, but he replied. He replied and said, you know, let's all stay blessed. Reach out if you need to, whatever. But those of you who are familiar, I just want to bring a couple of points across to you. For one, I was relieved that during the phone call, hearing his voice and um, just being fully aware of his presence in that moment, I'm relieved that I wasn't triggered. So that to me represents the completion of healing. That was my sign to me that, okay, I'm good on that. Um, as a parent, though, it was bothersome to a degree that he didn't say happy birthday to our youngest or happy belated birthday, that he didn't, you know, even attend, like he uh, uh, reached out, or excuse me, made an attempt to reach out way after the fact. So, it was bothersome by that. But the whole point of this shit is the epiphany moment I had. So just now I got up and I am taking a bath. Yes, I am. I am taking a spiritual bath. So I'm cleaning my tub and I'm putting in my Epsom salt. I'm putting in my healing herbs. And if you look that up, you'll see there are healing herbs that we actually cook with. Well, I was gonna say real, but organic, I guess you could say, herbs that we actually use to cook with. That is also healing to the body, right? And so, and this is rosemary, basil. You want to be aware of what you can mix. But yeah, put some fruit in there, some pineapple. So I'm getting my water ready. And as I'm doing that, it came to me, and it, this is what came to me. Hold on, I need to. Excuse me a minute. Excuse me. So, excuse me. This is what came to me, right? One of the things that came to me is that during the course of the breakup, when we were in the violent stages, so many things happened. It was happening, and a part of me didn't want to believe it was happening, and having hopes that we'll be able to um reconcile and make it work. But here are the points of and I hope I'm describing this right, because I'm like really just really getting up. I've been up maybe for about 20 minutes. But here are the things, that the epiphanies that came to me just now, that I didn't realize it then, but it hit me now. And uh the thing is that he did not want the responsibility of a family. He wanted to be man of the house purely because he returned to the home, not because he had done any of the work mentally, physically, emotionally, or spiritually to take lead of a house. He didn't want the responsibility of it, of a family. Um, Second of all, when he realized that he didn't want the responsibility of having a family, he did a lot of things to put me in a position to give up on him, on us, as a couple, to say, I don't want this anymore. Because he was not man enough to sit me down and say, babe, or, T, I need more time. finding out that yes, I wanted my freedom like anyone else, but I needed, I still need time to get me together, get myself together, figure some things out. He didn't tell me that, right? Nor um could I assume that. I only figured that in his return to our home, that he would still need some time to get himself together. Not really, not, I wasn't sure that um it would lead to a separation. Like I didn't figure that part out. I figured that that's why I went so hard in the beginning with getting the basic necessities that I pretty much knew that he would need: clothing, shelter, a vehicle, things like that. Because I reasoned with myself, like, okay, if he, because we all came from a point in our life where we ain't have shit. We all started from the fucking bottom. Wherever you are right now, we all started from the bottom. And wherever you are right now, it ain't at the fucking bottom. So, when you start out with nothing, you say to yourself, if I had the opportunity, this is what I would do. Being as though I was in a position to be able to do certain things, to be able to assist with the basics of living, that's what I did for my partner, for my man, for who I deemed to be as is the one I wanted to be with. He was in a certain position financially and materially. And so I was like, okay, you know what? So this is how in the area that I could help with, right? And so I did that. And I figured mentally and spiritually he probably still needed some time to um detox some of the trauma, some of the experience of being away for 13 years. So I did figure that much. I did not figure that a part of that detox was myself and our children. I didn't figure that much. So while he was unable to be honest with me about what was going on in his mind and what he was feeling, um, this morning I realized that he did all of those foul and fucked up things and did all of that because he put me in a position to say, I don't want this anymore for me. That was his way of giving me power because he felt powerless and he felt fucked up as a person to say or to feel or to conclude that all of this that this girl has done for me, and then I got the nerve to come home and after 8 months of being together then realize that I'm not ready for this or I don't want this. It's fucked up. It's fucked up as a man. So what I gotta do is I gotta sabotage this shit. And if I sabotage it, then some of the blame won't be on me. Some of the pressure will be off of me in a way that, like, I won't be this fucked up person because, like, I feel like his conscience was fucking with his decision making. Right? And this is all coming to me this morning. This is why I'm sharing it with you. As I'm cleaning my bathroom in preparation for my bath. So, right? And so he sabotaged it. And so then, right? Because I'm remembering the context of the conversation that he and my youngest had. And then it dawned on me. A conversation that he says he had with his father. And also a conversation that he had with his therapist. Now, all of this is coming back to me as I'm cleaning. And the crazy thing is, I don't know why, but you know, these moments of divine intervention come sporadically. You can never really um dictate a time when it's going to happen. So, you know, so this is, as I'm cleaning, there's recycled thoughts and memories that's coming to my mind. And then it fucking hit me with the information that I gathered, right, thus far. It dawned on me that he doesn't want to be a parent. And I don't think he knew at the times. Maybe he did. Maybe he did. Because I'm saying to myself, well, I was explaining to my youngest also the my view, okay, and this is before the cleaning. So this is before I sent the text because I was driving him to school, and I said to him, I said, listen, I said to him basically what I said to his father, and I said, listen, I'm not going to interfere with the relationship that you and your father have unless he mistreats you. That's what I fucking said in the text. I said, unless he mistreats you, I won't interfere. I want you to know that I'm here to support you, you know, and, you know, in all healthy relationships that you have, in any relationship with anyone that has the potential to get unhealthy, I'm going to recognize it and I'm going to bring it to your attention. Right, this is what I was telling him on the way to school. So I was like, you know, it all it matters to me is that he does not mistreat you, right? And that's another thing I said to the father, and I said, and I think you know that. I'm pretty sure you understand that by now. So I wanted to bring this to your attention. Have a good day. That was the text. And then to the youngest one, I said, you know, so as long as he doesn't mistreat you, and as long as, you know, it isn't toxic in any form, then I'm fine with it. And I just want you to, you know, understand that, because you're a 15-year-old male at this point, and your comprehension is good enough to understand that I love you and I'm going to support you. But sometimes that support could come in a way that you may disagree with. And you can disagree with it. But I want to have this conversation with you because I want you to just understand that sometimes, even if we disagree, it doesn't mean that I don't love you and that I'm not supporting you. Boom, right? So that's what I said to him, you know, on the way to school yesterday. So as I'm cleaning the bathroom, right? Oh, my bad, because I'm going back and forth in memory. So bear with me. So I also said to him, I said, you know, the frustrating thing for me about being a parent, or even being or loving your children, right? When I look at your father perspective, right? Being a parent isn't hard. And it isn't hard because when you love someone, when you love your children, when you love the fruits of your loin, right? Their best interests are always going to be or become a priority, right? So the confusing thing for me about your father is I don't understand how that, you know, he can tell you and your brother that, you know, that he love you, but then don't prioritize at the least your emotion, or, you know, some point of your existence. Like, I don't understand how he couldn't even say, or didn't even say, happy birthday, happy belated birthday, you know, things like that. So, you know, but it is what it is. So taking those factors into consideration, right? I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. And let me just, without further explaining it in my thought process, as all of these memories and emotions and epiphanies is coming, let me just try to simplify it. When you love someone, when you love anyone, they are a priority. They are a priority. And because your decision making when it comes to you and them may not always be in agreement with one another, doesn't necessarily mean that you don't love them or you don't care. But the way that he moved and did those things to then to sabotage the relationship, knowing that, to and not just our relationship, but the relationship with his children, the way he did me, the way he, treated them. Like at some point during his return to the family dynamic, at some point he had realized that he did not want the responsibility of a family. And then I realized yesterday when he mentioned, this is way before. This is I'm pillow talking right now because he was pillow talking and I'm reciting some of the things. And he had a conversation with his father. He had a conversation with his therapist at the time, because when he was incarcerated, um a part of him being able to be released, he had to enter into a program where he had to speak to somebody for mental health. I'm guessing it may have been a part of like a reentry program or something like that, but he had to speak with a therapist, right? And so he revealed to me some of the things him and the therapist spoke about. He revealed to me some of the things him and his dad had spoke about through a letter, him and his dad. And it just came to me that he doesn't want to be a parent. He doesn't want the responsibility of being a parent either. And I don't know if he had realized that in his youth. A lot of us make these decisions in our youth, not fully understanding the effects it will have on us in our adulthood, right? And like, because let me tell you something, right? Excuse me, right? Um, baby, man, excuse me. My allergies is kicking my ass. So excuse me. Um, the like, I'm like, oh shit, because when in the midst of the sabotage, right, when he was sabotaging, I could not understand why he would be jealous of the relationship that I had with our children. I'm like, this is our tribe. This is, I could not at all relate or understand. Excuse me. It is not. It wasn't natural to me. I was so confused. But excuse me. I don't want to start. Let me not start rubbing my eyes because this shit gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. Um. So I computed that he does not want to be a parent. He was looking for the me that but that the me before he left, right? Now, here's the thing. The me before he left prioritized him and my son Ty at the time. However, right? A lot of the time, because I was working and um oh shit, like this shit just hit me. I was working and I was going to school. My family helped me with Ty too. So when I was home, we was home together, and like it's just like, okay, let me finish my point. When I was home, we was all able, to be together. But then remember, Ty was young, and he would also go outside. So it appeared at the time that Ty wasn't home a lot because he was at school a lot, and then a lot of the time he would stay with my family when I wasn't able to um be with him because I was working and I was in school. Like, I was doing a lot of things, and so my family was able to help me a lot with him also, right? And then this is, and my grandmother would take him away a lot. This is his great grandmother, but my grandma, how we are with these grandkids. So my grandmother would take him away a lot. Whenever she went away, she would take him, and so it seemed like, now looking back, it seemed like he was going a lot too. Um, while I was getting my shit together, while we was getting our shit together, so he had we spent a lot of time together, and he became a major focal point for me too. Not that my son wasn't. It wasn't that. But in the midst of my family helping me with him, and in his absence, we would then also was able to grow like a tighter bond. Um, because our attention was solely on each other. And then when, my son was able to come back around, everything was fine. Everything, well, at the time, to me, everything was fine. So when I say he was looking for the old me, when he returned, the dynamics had changed. My priorities had changed. Um, and my job, with so much overtime, forced overtime, mandated overtime, consistently, I had gotten into the regime of working, because if you follow my page at any time, you remember that that was a part of my healing process, of him being absent from my life, of me missing him. I didn't even mind the mandated overtime, because for me it was a distraction from the pain of him being absent, right? And I dove into work, and I prioritized my children when I could. And I'm saying when I could, because work was mandating. But also, on top of all of that, in my mind, I had summarized that it was a part of the grind, that this is the way I had to pay my dues in order to get me and my family where we needed to be financially, so that we'd be able to stay afloat. Because before that, we were still a part of the struggle. I mean, majorly. Now, I'm not saying that we hit the lotto and that um we don't struggle anymore. We just don't have the same struggle as we had before. So to me, it was all about putting in the work. I had to put in the work. I had to, elevate myself and my family, because there was a a line of income that was now missing. He was now gone, so I had to do mostly everything on my own. Even though my family helped to raise my children with me, um, I was still fully financially responsible for them, right? So, and I'm not trying to take anything away from my family, but it's more shit that's coming to me as I have this conversation with y'all. Oh shit, and I'm going into a half hour. So let me try to tie this up. So fast forward to today. When I'm cleaning my bathroom, I fucking realized that he does not want to be a parent. And I don't think he knew that then. And of course, I didn't know it then. You know what I'm saying? But this is a part of the decision making that affects us for the rest of our life, as we make decisions in our youth, how it affects us as adults. Because now, all the way up until Boogie birthday, which is May 5th, my Cinco de Mayo baby, my party baby, my baby that is a sign of independence, uh, my Omega, right? Because I call Ty the Alpha and I call Boogie the Omega, because when you refer in the good book, the Alpha means the beginning and the Omega means the end. So, my first and my last, right? Um, and I'm saying all of that to say is that up until Boogie birthday, I was triggered as a parent, right? I did not make mention to Boogie because we went away. We had a great time. I did not want to put a damper on things, or at least I thought it might put a damper on things to bring up his father to say anything. Because we were having such a great time when we went away, just me and him. But I was triggered as a parent because I was saying, how the fuck, as a parent, you don't even make an attempt to say happy birthday? That shit triggered me. I mean, I reached out on on in our group on Facebook. I reached out. I could not understand that. I just was like, yo, I was so angry because I felt that he was not. I was like, he just, you don't even love our children. I think that was settling in for me. You know, like, damn, you don't even love our fucking children. You don't even love, like, what the fuck? You know, and then, I started questioning myself, like, did I not see this? How the fuck did I not know this? How the fuck could I lay with someone and give someone so much of myself who have no regard for anyone else? Not no regard for me, not even for our children. You don't even, when he was in fucking jail, he sent a card. You know what I'm saying? He fucking sent a letter and said happy birthday. And now that you don't even say happy birthday. So all of this shit is playing in my mind, and then the fucking epiphany come like, bitch, he don't even want to be a parent. And he probably never wanted to be a parent, but didn't know that then, but knows it now. And this is why he do certain things the way that he fucking do. Because he tried to get you to figure that shit out. Because he is still not man enough to tell you. And he doesn't want to further hurt anyone. He don't want to hurt these boys. He don't want to, because he understands at least that much, that they didn't ask to be here. This is a decision that ultimately you had. I want to say you and him, as a couple. But I'm going to say ultimately I had, because I have jurisdiction over my body, me and God. Right? So ultimately, it was my decision. But he doesn't have, I don't know if he has the self-knowledge or not to realize this. I don't even know if he realized it. But it's the epiphany that I had this morning. And God is only going to bring it to you when he feel like you're ready for it. And I've reached the completion of healing and the heartbreak aspect of it, but still kind of dealing with the disappointment parental wise. But I'm not so deep in it that God couldn't bring it to me. He brought it to me when he knew that I was ready for it. And I'm sitting here like, oh, shit. And so, in my forgiving now, I need to be able to forgive him for that. For not being in the depths of love as I was. For only loving to his capacity. His capacity wasn't as deep as mine. I didn't know that. In my youth, I didn't know that. For being unable to be I'm looking for the word because I want to say full parent, but that's not the proper term. For not being able to be an active parent. And this is the shit that I was trying to explain in previous videos about forgiveness. Like, it be levels to that shit. We cannot, like, when somebody do something to us, right? You want to forgive them and you work on forgiving them, but you cannot just forgive one aspect of it, because it be shit leading up to the fucking betrayal, and it be shit leading up to the fucking disappointment. And when you go on a process, when you go on a healing journey, you start to like, when you for real about this shit, you start to fucking configure that it's fucking doors start opening up, like forgiveness and healing and fucking all this shit is a fucking journey to fucking through Pandora's box, because all this other shit start fucking opening up. And you start realizing the accountability, and you forgive yourself, and then you have to forgive the person repeatedly, but for different things. And so I also have to and have had to forgive myself for being, for lack of better words, for being bamboozled. And here's the thing, right? I wasn't even bamboozled. I had belief in love and belief in this black man, right? That he had what it took to love me and to create a family with me and to be with me for the long haul, and to believe in love so much that we'll be able to get through anything, even infidelity, because we were not married. Even though I acted in the way of a wife, we were not legally married, maybe spiritually, which is more powerful to me, but unrecognizable to him. He didn't see it the way I see it. So he could not operate in the way of a divine masculine. He could not operate um as a king. He couldn't make decisions that was beneficial to the tribe as a whole. He was actually incapable of that. All the way to fast forward to right now. He doesn't want to be a parent. He doesn't want the responsibility of parenthood. He doesn't want the responsibility of someone else's life, of being an example, of molding, of shaping. He doesn't want any parts of that. And I don't know if he ever recognized that. I don't know if he sat down with himself. I don't know if he came to the conclusion that I've come to, but this is what I know for a fact. Not only because of the patterns, not only because of the memories, the conversation, the recollection, the actions, the inactions, not just those things, but because of the divine message that I got this morning as I'm cleaning my bathroom in preparation for a cleansing. Another cleansing came about, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually came about. The revelation of this shit. And I'm like, oh shit. And I felt the need to bring it to you because we going through this shit together. Am I wrong or am I right? Or let me say, am I right or am I right? Because we all have experienced heartbreak in one way or another when it comes to uh relationships, right? I'm not talking about death at this point. I'm just talking about relationships. We've all experienced heartbreak and disappointment. And in experiencing that, we've all had to go through some shit in order to heal. And those of us who did not go through the heartbreak at this exact time, maybe I'm helping bring some of that shadow work to the light so that it can be healed. And it's like, I can't be mad at his inability to reach me where I was, and his inability to be fully operational in love in its grandiose manner. Cause love is deep and it's big and it's broad. It's it's love. It's wow. Cause he was only able to love and show love to the level in which he understood it. And I just want to say I'm so thankful to my mom and my uncle for instilling and showing me love the way they did in different dynamics, right? That I can have. I get to enjoy oh shit. I get to enjoy this type of love. Right? And here's what I mean by that. Because I have not ever experienced low self-esteem or jealousy or envy within or outside of myself. All of my friendships and the relationships that I have with people are sincere and true. They are genuine. And whenever I wholeheartedly, in the depths of my heart, have so much joy when the people that I love are able to elevate in any type of way, should they choose to share it with me, I have absolute joy for that because of the way that I love. So, my love, the way I was raised, and I mentioned those two people because they were pivotal in raising me. The same uncle that helped me raise my boys and my mom, right? So, bear with me because I got to get some more tissue. They were pivotal in raising me. And so, um, oh shit. It allowed me to experience, to have a, to, excuse me, to have a better experience and idea of what love is. And I don't regret any of it. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to compare myself to other people. That is not what this is about. I'm saying that because in comparison, our capabilities of love are different. And it also explains why I felt that I could love him into healing. Because even in my youth, when I did recognize certain things, when I was able to say, "Oh, he's having a moment, but that's okay, baby. Have your moment, because I got enough love for the both of us." Right? When I would say that to myself, like those are signs I was getting from then. But at that time, I felt it was okay because we were a couple. And I felt that, and the hood taught me that it was my duty as a woman that wherever my man was lacking, I was to pick up that lack. And that because I could, because the divinity in me allowed me to, so I could pick it up, not being aware that it was not my place. The hood taught me that it was my place. See, and so this is all this shit about healing that I'm learning. Know what I'm saying? I even understand how my mom relationships had an effect on me because my mom did a lot of that in her relationships too. So love, as I grow to understand it, is wow, oh shit, like this shit. You know what I'm saying? It's I don't know if psychedelic is a word. No. Yeah, because it's like a revolving star that you shit like wow, 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 you know. um and so I don't like the way it happened. I don't like the way he did that. The lesson was hard when I was in it. Now that I look back on it, I'm like, oh shit, you know. Oh shit. I'm thankful to have learned a lesson. Trying not to have regret that it took me 13 years of his absence to fucking learn it, and 13 years of my dedicating myself to a one-sided situationship. So, that's like fucked up. But, I had the opportunity to leave. I was supposed to leave when he left. He left physically, but I was supposed to start my healing process back then emotionally. A separate and I didn't, because he was the example of love that I knew, that I felt, and you couldn't tell me back then that that was not my soulmate. I mean, I waited 13 years for the nigga to return. So I had this idea in my mind, in my heart, in my soul. It was burnt in my soul that he was my soulmate. That Judas, I was about to say his fucking government name. That Judas was my soulmate. And he's not. And but where I'm at right now in my healing, you know, I'm okay with it, only because I've learned so much in these past 2 years about, oh shit, yo. You know, I and I was such in a rush to get this message out to. I actually did this. I actually did it for me. I did it for me. And I wasn't even going to post it. And it wasn't until coming towards the end I figured that I would post it. And I'm posting it. Um, because maybe it could help somebody, but I I I gotta process this shit. I gotta process it. So have a great day. Thank you for your time. And wherever you are on your healing journey, keep going. Don't stop. Don't give up on you. We aspire to be better people, so don't stop.